Television, I am Simiat Abaru. First, the highlight. President Tinubu tasked Nigerian leaders to adopt right attitude towards making the country great. Ogun State government accuses former Governor Daniel of politicizing federal government acquisition of Tai Solarin University of Education. Nigeria, Germany deepen defense ties through new agreement. "144 dead, 730 injured in Myanmar earthquake."
And on business news, federal government borrows 1.94 trillion naira from bond investment. To join me later for more details, I am Adibola Oshomoji.
On Sports News tonight, CAF names Egypt under-20 AFCON host as Cote d'Ivoire pulls out. I bring you details of this and more on the sports segment of the news. I am Emmanuel Dasalo. Stay with us.
You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ng/live for the latest news and reports. Check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple and Google Play stores. President Bola Tinubu has tasked the leaders to come together to make the country work again by adopting the right attitude. He wants the task of transforming the country to a prosperous and respectable nation will be a mirage if they don't. Tinubu spoke at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State, during the 19th convocation ceremony of the institution. The president was represented by the former Vice Chancellor of UNIZIG, Professor Joseph Ahaneku. The visitor to the university mentioned some of the improvement achieved in the education sector in recent times, which included raising the budgetary allocation of the sector to achieving the renewed hope agenda. The president said his government will continue to create employment and other opportunities for youth to thrive, adding that the country is in the process of revolutionary change. The former governor of Ogun State and current senator representing Ogun East, Otumba Gbenga Daniel, has been accused of politicizing the federal government acquisition of Tai Solarin University of Education. In a recent statement, Daniel was said to have attempted to cast doubt on this laudable initiative of President Bola Tinubu's administration, while subtly fanning the embers of discontent against Governor Dapo Abiodun. In a statement signed by Special Advisor, Media and Strategy to Governor Dapo Abiodun, Honorable Kayode Akimade, he says this strategy wreaks more of mischief than meaningful opposition and has unmistakably missed its mark. It questions the true intent behind the senator's much publicized open letter to Governor Abiodun. A document it stresses is filled with mischaracterizations and insinuations, including accusation against the governor of neglecting state-owned institutions. The statement notes that the claim is weak under the weight of verifiable evidence pointing to increased investment, infrastructural development, and renewed vitality across Ogun's educational landscape. It further explains that under the Abiodun administration, Ogun State educational sector has witnessed measurable growth, with TASWAIT benefiting from improved infrastructure and robust funding. It adds that now, with its new federal status, the institution stands to enjoy access to TED fund, increased budgetary support, and stronger academic manpower, all critical for long-term excellence. It queries Senator Daniel's standing to dictate how this administration should manage its developmental agenda, particularly against the records during his own 8-year tenure as governor. The extension of the red and blue rail lines to Ogun State will promote the ease of doing business and make transportation more easy for the residents of the state. The State Commissioner for Transportation, Engineer Gbenga Dairo, made this known during the visitation with members of his team to the management of Nigerian Railway Corporation in Lagos State. Ayodiji Tomori Oluwumi report.
This meeting between Ogun State Ministry of Transportation and the Nigerian Railway Corporation is a testament of Ogun State government commitment at ensuring provision of more infrastructure and to promote the ease of transportation in the state. The focus is on developing the rail system of the state in the Transportation Development Blueprint through extension of the red and blue rail lines in Lagos State into other strategic locations in Ogun State. The State Commissioner for Transportation, Engineer Gbenga Dairo, said the plans are not only beneficial to the transportation business, but also to increase the GDP of the state through provision of suitable environment for businesses to thrive.
The projects that I just described, the extensions of Lagos red and blue lines to Ogun State, speaks to the Lagos Ogun Joint Development Commission arrangements that took place in 2021. And this is a recognition of the fact that both states are co-joined, especially when it comes to transportation, because now that Ogun State is fast industrializing, and Lagos is retaining its commercial and financial status as the capital of Nigeria in that sense, there's a lot of movement and activity between both states, and therefore infrastructure and services on transportation are to be jointly developed and operated.
The Managing Director of Nigerian Railway Corporation, Dr. Kayode Okpeifa, assures the delegation of the corporation's support to achieving the fulfillment of the plan.
As there are some things that were told today that was not in our national planning, we also make sure that we take it up and make sure that all these are integrated. And everything we do on the narrow gauge line rehabilitation, reactivation, revitalization, Ogun State is the key. So today we commence the railing with the state's project.
The proposed red rail line extension is to start from Okokomaiko to Agbara, while the blue rail line is to begin from Agbado to Kajola through Ijoko. Ayodeji Tomori Oluwumi, Ogtv News.
The Ogun State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists has honored Dr. Twin Taiwo, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, with a declaration recognizing him as the pillar of good governance in the state. The event took place at the Olusegun Oshoba Hall, Iwe-Iroyin, Okelewo, Abeokuta.
It is another avenue for members of the Nigeria Union of Journalists in Ogun State Council to converge for the monthly Congress, where another feather was added to the cap of the Chief of Staff to the Ogun State Governor, Dr. Twin Taiwo, as the pillar of good governance. The chairman, Nigeria Union of Journalists, Ogun State Council, Comrade Wale Olanrewaju, in his opening remarks, said the choice of Dr. Twin Taiwo is no doubt to complement his efforts and encourage him to do more, while thanking the state's governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, for always listening to the yearnings of journalists. Dr. Twin Taiwo, represented by his daughter Faith Taiwo and the State Commissioner for Sport Development, Honorable Wasiu Isiaka, while appreciating the organizer, noted that journalism is activism that has helped in shaping the future of democracy in the country.
In an age of information and political polarization, information must maintain itself of partnership and remain to the core value of ethical reporting.
A dedicated man of God, and I thank God for giving him the opportunity for the pillar of good governance, and I pray the Lord will continue to help him.
The state head of service, Kende Onosoya,
while congratulating the new pillar of good governance, charged members of the fourth estate of the realm to always verify their stories before publishing.
The media owes a critical opportunity of informing, educating, and shaping public discourse. The sound of the bridge between the government and the people, while ensuring that policies and actions are well understood, appreciated, and well measured.
There were goodwill messages from some of the dignitaries that graced the event.
Oba Najimdeen Oladile Ayinla Odugbemi has been installed as the Onilisa of Lisa and officially presented staff of office by Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun. Governor Abiodun, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Ganiu Hamzat, charged the new monarch to continue to champion all efforts that can enhance peaceful coexistence with other royal fathers in Egbaland and Ogun State. Margaret Okunola was present at the event, and our report.
Residents of the ancient town of Lisa, located in Ifo local government area of Ogun State, trooped out in their numbers to witness the official presentation of staff of office and instrument of appointment to Oba Najimdeen Oladile Ayinla Odugbemi as the Onilisa of Lisa by Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, who was represented by the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Ganiu Hamzat. Governor Abiodun at the event emphasized that the appointment of the monarch as the Onilisa of Lisa automatically made him the royal custodian of the culture and tradition of Lisa community.
As an administration, we consider this ceremony as another positive result in our determination and commitment towards ensuring that Ogun State takes its rightful position in the Committee of States. We realize the fact that traditional institution and its leadership must be properly positioned as it serves as a bridge between the people at the grassroots and the government. We will continue to champion all efforts that can enhance peaceful coexistence with other royal fathers in Egbaland in order to justify the mandate and trust reposed in you by the Ogun State government and the good people of Lisa community.
Responding, the newly installed Onilisa of Lisa, Oba Najimdeen Oladile Ayinla Odugbemi, who has been installed as Baale of Lisa since 14th of July 2006 by Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, expressed delight for the promotion and called on all for support to achieve growth and development.
I give glory to God. I've accumulated enough experience as a traditional ruler. Even to be an Oba is an incident for me because I've been performing my role. It's a memorable event. No one, I can't forget it. My family cannot forget it. I mean, the Lisa community will never forget it.
The occasion was witnessed by royal fathers, chiefs, heads of religious institutions and dignitaries from all walks of life.
He's a great man, a man of people, a man of favor of everybody, either outside, inside, everywhere. He's a man of people.
It was a platform for residents of Lisa to pay homage to their king as various cultural displays added glamour to the event. Margaret Okunola, Ogtv News.
Still ahead, Nigeria, Germany deepen defense ties through new agreement. More news and reports after the break. Please stay with us. You're still watching the news at 8 on Ogun State Television. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has described late Dr. Doyin Okupe as a fearless man who fought many battles during his lifetime to put Nigeria on a higher pedestal of development. Governor Abiodun stated this during the funeral service of the deceased held at the Wesley Methodist Church, Nigeria, Iperu Remo. Governor's Office correspondent Yusuf Ganiyu reports.
dignitaries from all walks of life converged at the ancient town of Iperemo in Ikeno local government to bid former spokesperson to President Olusegun Obasanjo and special assistant on public affairs to former President Goodluck Jonathan, late Dr. Doyin Okupe, farewell. Extolling the virtues of the late politician, Governor Dapo Abiodun said Dr. Okupe, who served the nation meritoriously for many years, was an advocate of good governance, something earned him respect all over the world, particularly his intellectual prowess and dedication to nation building.
He was kind, he was humble, he was generous. A cult like political followership. Everyone that's been with Edmond Doyin from his early days in politics are still with him till tomorrow. That says a lot about a man. When people are not here with you today and tomorrow they are with other people because of how you treat them, without a doubt, he lived a life of impact.
Earlier in its sermon, the preacher, Most Reverend Adebina Adewale, noted that the life of Dr. Okupe was full of testimony as he impacted people's lives, stating that his legacy would continue to inspire his children and incoming generations.
And every act of us, every action will be held accountable for it. And our legacy will be shaped by the impact we have on others. And this calls to those of us in governance today, that what we do today will be remembered when we are no longer there.
The clerics emphasized the need for the congregation to always remember that death is inevitable, as every human being has limited time to live. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Meanwhile, the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, has expressed deep sorrow over the passing of Mrs. Bisola Koladaisi, daughter of Mrs. Florence Ajimobi, wife of the late former governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi. Governor Abiodun described Bisola's passing as a painful and irreplaceable loss, not just to her family, but to all who knew her. He particularly acknowledged the deep and long-standing bond between the Ajimobi and Abiodun families, making this loss even more personal and heartfelt. Abiodun further prayed for the peaceful repose of Mrs. Bisola Koladaisi's soul, urging the family to take solace in the cherished memories she left behind and the impact she had during her lifetime. The Ogun State government has reiterated its resolve to continue to support, recognize and identify with notable sons and daughters of the state for their contributions to the continued growth and development of the state. Governor Abiodun made this resolve when he joined the Oyagbola family of Ayeturu in Yewa North Local Government to bid farewell their matriarch, Chief Mrs. Adenikebu Oyagbola, at a funeral service held at the Diocese of Yewa Anglican Communion, St. Paul's Anglican Church, Ayeturu. Details of the report are in this package.
According to Governor Abiodun, who was represented by his head of service, Mr. Kehinde Onosoya, were the sons and daughters of the state who lived lives of dedication to service, integrity and pursuit of a better society, like late Chief Mrs. Ebun Oyagbola, would continue to be celebrated and given a pride of place in the history of the state. Describing Chief Mrs. Oyagbola as more than just a name in the history of Nigeria, the governor said she was a force to be reckoned with as the country's first female cabinet minister, who shattered barriers and paved the way for many women to take their rightful places in governance. The governor said her role as Nigeria's ambassador to Mexico further solidified her legacy as a diplomat who represented the nation with dignity and grace on the global stage.
It takes solace in the fact that she lived a life of impact, service, and dedication to the greater good of the people of this nation and humanity.
Governor Abiodun said, "A transition is a great loss,
not just her family, but to Ogun State, Nigeria, and indeed the entire African continent, but takes solace in the fact that she lived a life of impact, service, and dedication to the greater good of the people of the nation and humanity. In a sermon, the Bishop of Yowa Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Dr. Michael Uluwarumbi, all minister enjoined the congregant to use their God-given gift for humanity and glory to God, and added that any unused gift would expire as life itself expires when death comes calling.
If you don't use it, you have brought out the glory of God. You have wasted the investment of God upon your life.
In an interview, the first son of the deceased, Barrister Bayo Oyagbola, eulogized the virtues of her late mother.
As a mother of her children, she instilled on us certain virtues. One of them was integrity, the other was hard work, and finally, that we have to carry out the things we conceive.
Dignitaries who graced the funeral came from all walks of life, to include the senator representing Ogun West Senatorial District, Senator Olamilekun Adeola, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Godfrey Onyema, former Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Kola Bajomo. Others are Fola Adeola, a foremost banker, members of the State Executive Council, elder statesmen and women, council chairmen, retired permanent secretaries from the state and the federal government, amongst other notable Nigerians.
The essence of living is to serve God. Therefore, every opportunity one has must be used to serve the Creator of the universe. The Islamic preacher Al-Haji Tajuddin Taiwo made this known in his sermon at the 8th day Fidal for Major Adetokunbo Akinlade, the father of the deputy governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 election in Ogun State. Honorable Abdul Kabir Adekunle Akinlade at his residence in Agoshasha, Ikokia local government. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
A great inspiration to his children, firm believer in the importance of education and devout Muslim, Major Adetokunbo Akinlade, father of the deputy governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 election in Ogun State, Honorable Abdul Kabir Adekunle Akinlade, was not only great because of his accomplishments, but the kind of children he is survived by. The 8th day Fidal for the late soldier presented a unique opportunity to celebrate his exemplary life, as the children were joined by dignitaries, the political class, associates, Islamic clerics and faithful. Alhaji Tajuddin Taiwo in a sermon posited that the life of man is in stages, and every stage presents a unique opportunity to serve God wholeheartedly, without which life will be meaningless.
Ṣé ẹ rí ibi tí ẹ̀dá bá parí iṣẹ́ sí máa ṣe pàtàkì o? Gbogbo àgbàlagbà kọ́ ní kúlẹ̀ yìí rí báyìí o. Allah! Ọ̀nàrẹ́bù, gbogbo orúkọ tẹ níyẹn kò kó àwọn èèyàn jáde láti ilé o. Ṣùgbọ́n bàbá yín dà.
The occasion was used to launch an endowment fund as well as extend support to people in different mosques and Islamic schools in Ipokia and environs.
We, the children and grandchildren of Adetokunbo Mukaila Akinlade, are pleased to launch and commence the award of grants to Islamic schools. The grants shall be administered annually to selected Islamic schools.
Wife of the deceased described him as a great companion and wonderful husband.
ọkọ mi ẹjọ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ tó bí nífẹ̀ẹ́ ó dẹ̀ fún ẹ lẹ́dúkéṣọ̀n it's a nice man to become.
The children describe their father this way.
Father to 9 children, and every one of them is amazing and outstanding in every aspect of their livelihood. He's my role model. That has one word. It says, your word is your bond.
A loving man is someone that is beautiful at heart, not just in and out.
He's a very brave man. He served his country. He's a very selfless person. He's willing to put his life for us.
Special prayers were offered for the deceased wife, children, and family left behind.
Grandpapa John of Fridaus and all the children, friends, and family left behind. Lord might grant them strength and fortitude to bear the irreparable loss.
The celebration of life then continued at the residence of Honorable Abdulkabir Adekunle Akinlade in Agoshasha. Matthew Shoumi, Ogtv News.
May the souls of the departed ones continue to rest in peace. The government of Nigeria and Germany have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral defense cooperation with the signing of a renewed memorandum of understanding with the German Technical Advisory Group. This is contained in a statement issued by a principal information officer in the Ministry of Defense, Sunday Iyogo, in Abuja. Speaking at the signing ceremony, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Gabriel Aduda, described the MOU as a strategic counterpart funding arrangement that underscored the strong defense ties between both nations. Aduda emphasized that the renewed agreement aligned with Nigeria and Germany's shared objectives, fostering long-term security collaboration and developmental goals. He reiterated the Nigerian government commitment to ensuring accountability and efficiency in the implementation of the agreement. Ogun State House of Assembly Committee on Public Accounts and Anti-Corruption has continued with the consideration of the 2023 audit report on ministries, departments and agencies of government, with a caution to some political and administrative heads of the MDAs to always make themselves available during the consideration of the financial reports to aid accountability and transparency in the running of government. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Damilare Bello, issued the caution while considering the financial records of the State Hospital OTA as presented by the Medical Director and Chief Executive Officer Dr. A. Phillips at the Assembly Complex Okimoso Abeokuta. He warned that the absence of some of the commissioners, heads of the agencies during the public accounts and anti-corruption exercise not only undermines the authority of the committee, but also raises concerns about transparency and accountability. He stressed that as appointed officials, they were expected to uphold the high standards of integrity and responsiveness to the people. The committee chairman therefore urged the officials to always respond to the committee's invitation without delay, emphasizing that failure to do so may lead to further action of invoking sections 125, 128 and 129 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Considering the financial records of the State Hospital OTA, the chairman directed the management of the hospital to represent their financial records at a later date, requesting for more documents relating to other maintenance services, drug and laboratory and med supplies, processes for all purchases in 2023, including insurance premium documents. Responding, the managing director and chief executive officer assured that all documents requested will be duly and promptly supplied to the committee. The National Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ Ogun State Chapter, has celebrated women journalists in Ogun State for their significant contributions to nation building. Part of the activities commemorating this year's International Women's Day. These women journalists, in addition to their official duties as watchdogs, participated in training sessions on various business skills that will greatly benefit their day-to-day activities. Bumi Adigun was there to cover the event. His report.
International Women's Day celebrated on March 8 commemorates women's fight for equality and liberation alongside the women's rights movement. It highlights issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence against women. The National Association of Women Journalists was established in September 1989 to advocate for female journalists in Nigeria. Its formation arose from the need for a gender-focused association that could address the aspirations of women in a male-dominated profession. This year's International Women's Day was marked by the Ogun State chapter of NAWATCH through empowerment and skills training for its members, recognizing the challenges they face in their demanding roles.
This yesterday, as we all accelerate action, we need to accelerate our actions at the beginning. So accelerate action, rights, equality, and empowerment for all women and girls. Resonate deeply with our collective aspirations as women. As we get here today, we acknowledge the progress made towards achieving gender equality. However, we also recognize the immense work that still lies ahead.
Let us see, where are we? Where are we going? How can we make it up? Our children are so and we believe we are doing well. We are not. We are not. For our aspirate action, let us look back for our reason. How do we make it up? If it's the one that is shaking, look back. How do we make it up?
During the training, women journalists participated in discussions aimed at enhancing their skills and exploring additional income opportunities.
You need to build that trust. Then not you to build yourself. Don't go there and give, don't go and start giving emotional blackmail to your bosses. You know, it's annoying.
We must not rest on past achievements. The fight for gender equality is an ongoing one, and we must accelerate action to close gaps that still exist. The rights, equality, and empowerment are commitments.
While I talk about equality, we should be talking about equity, where whatever is due any woman to reach her full potential is given her, and whatever is due any man to reach his full potential is given him.
The two-day event provided a valuable platform for women journalists to come together, share ideas, and improve their professional capacity, making this year's celebration a significant success.
In recognition of the profound impact of social workers in the society, the Ogun State chapter of Nigerian Association of Social Workers celebrated 2025 World Social Work Day 2025 at Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Abeokuta. Bolaji Sampson reports that the event was a reaffirmation of their commitment to strengthen the bonds between generations for a more inclusive society. Her report.
The 2025 World Social Work Day has its theme, strengthening intergenerational solidarity for enduring well-being, which emphasized the importance of connections between generations for enduring well-being in a world facing instability and increasing polarization. Ogun State Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, in conjunction with the Ogun State chapter of Nigeria Association of Social Workers, therefore celebrated social workers. In view of this, social workers called for stronger intergenerational solidarity, stressing the need for stronger connections between all within diverse societies. Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Ogun State, Honorable Adijat Adeleye, while encouraging more service to humanity, made it clear that towards sanitizing the environment, the ministry will soon commence evacuation and rehabilitation of destitute with mental disorders across the state.
It's not about what you are doing to us. It's about the fact that you have recognized the people that we are doing, that we are using to support the system. We do not take it for granted. We say thank you to you while we are committed and we are assuring you that we will continue to dream more, even much more. So who wants to dream more is
when the patient is discharged from the hospital to the home, in the community. So social workers are the people that ensure that the patient comes for checkup. Apart from that, the patient also follow up the treatment as it's described to them while in the hospital. So they are the link between the family and the hospital. So they do essentially great work and ensuring that people remain healthy.
Awards of attendance and appreciation were presented to individuals in recognition of their outstanding support and contributions towards social work profession. Similarly, certificates were given to new members. Baraji Sampson, Ogtv News.
Muslim faithful have been advised to be contented with what they have and not to rely on worldly possessions which are temporary, but rather prioritize faith and good deeds. This was the central message at the various worship centers during the last Jumat service in the month of Ramadan. Gimago reports.
It is the last Jumat service in the month of Ramadan, as Muslim faithful converged on various places of worship to offer prayers and thanksgiving to Allah. The sermon, which centered on contentment during this period, the cleric said it is not about accepting circumstances, but rather about finding satisfaction and peace in what Allah has given, even in difficult times.
So there's no point you going back to it, because the more you go back to evil things, the more you go closer to hellfire. So when you do good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you with good. So there's no point going back to it.
It is better for them to, to keep on the momentum and not go back into those characters they have, left before Ramadan. It is better for them to, adopt a new life and live a better life after Ramadan.
To submit to the wills of Almighty Allah and to abide to the wills of Almighty Allah, to use Islam as a guide and a way of doing.
The clerics equally used the opportunity to encourage Muslim faithful to continue their good ways even after the Ramadan, and beseeched Almighty Allah for a peaceful coexistence and prosperous nation.
Keep upholding the pillars of Islam, keep performing their salats, and doing all the good deeds that our holy prophet Muhammad had recommended for us.
We need to ask for forgiveness, and we have to be patient, because honestly speaking, things are not really good the way we expected it. But with prayers and patience, everything will be fine.
Muslim faithful also used the opportunity to reassure to leave behind the sinful act they forsook during the Ramadan period. In Ken Agu, Ogtv News.
The Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Agency, TRACE, has pledged to ensure effective traffic management at Eid praying grounds across the state and ensure prompt rescue emergency services on 24-hour basis on Ogun 18 major traffic corridors before, during and after the Eid al-Fitr celebration. The exercise, according to a release from the office of the TRACE Commander General, Chief Executive Commander Sheni Ugunyemi, will run through Friday, 4th April 2025. In view of the anticipated increase in motorization, the special patrol order would involve monitoring of motorists and other road users, inclusive of high and low capacity vehicles, to ensure safety of lives and property on Ogun 18 major traffic corridors, including the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The exercise would also involve synergy with other security and safety agencies, in addition with all road users through the TRACE Traffic Whistle-Blower Initiative, TRACE Emergency Traffic Service, and the Community-Based Traffic Management Scheme, against the backdrop that safety on our roads is a shared responsibility. Up next is Business News with Adebola Oshomoji. Please stay with us.
Mr. Chef Mixed Spices Seasoning Cube don't land with all your rich spices where you love inside one cube. Mr. Chef Mixed Spices Seasoning Cube. Spice mix exactly the way you like them. They available for seasoning cube. Try them today.
You're welcome to the business segment of the news. The federal government borrowed a total of 1.94 trillion naira from bond investors in the first quarter of 2025. An analysis of bond auction results released by the Debt Management Office showed. However, the amount was raised through Federal Government of Nigeria bonds over the 3 months and does not include borrowings through the FGN Savings Bond Program. The figure represents the total amount allotted to investors who participated in the monthly Federal Government of Nigeria bond auctions for January, February, and March 2025. It was observed that the government had initially offered 1.10 trillion naira in bonds over the quarter, but ended up allotting 1.94 trillion naira following strong investor interest that pushed total subscriptions to 2.83 trillion naira. The federal government has said that the Highways Management and Development Initiative will facilitate the concessions of major highways to improve road infrastructure. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wali Edun, made this announcement during a Zoom dialogue meeting in Abuja. The Highways Management and Development Initiative would facilitate the concessioning of major highways to improve road infrastructure, he said. Edun began by outlining the significant progress Nigeria's economy has made in the last 18 to 20 months, having narrowly avoided collapse after relying on illegally borrowed central bank funds that far exceeded regulatory limit. The Nigerian Exchange Limited extended its losing streak on Thursday as investors recorded 31 billion naira decline in market capitalization. At the close of trading, the all-share index dipped by 0.05% to settle at 105,426.12 points, compared to the previous day's 105,475.38 points. Consequently, the total market capitalization declined to 66.11 trillion naira from 66.14 trillion naira. A total of 423.62 million shares valued at 9.18 billion naira were traded in 11,393 deals, reflecting a 67% decline in volume and a 27% drop in turnover compared to Wednesday's session. However, market activity improved slightly with a 4% increase in the number of deals recorded. The Nigeria South Africa Chamber of Commerce has urged African nations to deepen economic integration to ensure food security and shared prosperity across the continent. Speaking at the NCSA's March breakfast meeting in Lagos, stakeholders in the agricultural sector underscored the need for a robust agribusiness framework to address food shortages and enhance intra-African trade. In his keynote address, the Director of Corporate and Regulatory Affairs at OLAM, Adefeko, emphasized that agriculture remains the backbone of the continent's economy, providing over 50% of jobs. And lastly, on the business segment of the news, goods exported via maritime transport exceeded import in the same category by 39.76% in 2024, a sharp deviation from other modes of foreign trade transport. This highlights the fact that importers avoided delay during the period under review. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the value of goods exported via maritime transport in 2024 was 78.37 trillion naira, exceeding 39.7% of the value of goods imported by sea vessels at 52.37 trillion naira in the same year. And that ends the business segment of the news. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Adibola, for the business update. Now to the foreign news. At least 100 and 44 people have been killed and more than 730 in the powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake that struck Myanmar on Friday. Meanwhile, Israel has conducted the first airstrike on Beirut's southern suburbs where Hezbollah is based since the ceasefire with the group came into force in November. Details are in this package.
A powerful 7.2